start off?
First of all, thank you very much for taking the time this morning. We appreciate having you at Momocon.
Thank you.
Wanted to ask you what it was that first made you take an interest in acting.
So I grew up in a theater family. My parents and most of my extended family are actually theater people and actors, performers of some sort, writers. So it's kind of like the family business for us. And I think, yeah, growing up in the theater and just, you know, my dad was an actor at a theater in Germany. I was born in Germany, grew up in New York, but I was 8 years old when we moved over. So before we moved over to New York, we would spend, you know, many evenings just waiting for my dad to finish his show, or, you know, hanging out backstage or in the audience, and it always spoke to me. I always knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I'm a very thick-headed person, so I'm a very stubborn person, so once I get something into my head, I don't let it go very easily.
When you're picking, when you're choosing what auditions you want to go to, do you like something that you feel is completely opposite your natural personality, or do you, what sort of range in characters do you like?
Yeah, because I do a lot of comedy and I do a lot of character comedy, I always really appreciate getting auditions for characters that are out there and, you know, very different and kind of not the run-of-the-mill, you know, cute best friend, or, you know, like, hot girl or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I love when I get thrown parts that are different and interesting. And I think now, especially as a time where, you know, people are really trying to write more interesting characters for women. So I love the quirky stuff. But when you, I don't usually turn down auditions unless it's like the material is something that I don't feel comfortable with, or I don't have the time or something like that. But I usually, us actors, we usually try to get in anywhere we can, because it's such a competitive business. So, and then, you know, it's hard to judge how others see you. So you kind of sometimes have to go with what people offer you to get to a level where then you can pick and choose, you know? But yeah, definitely the more quirky and more interesting, different roles are what I like.
For Mercy, do you have a favorite skin that you voiced, or like?
I love the witch skin. That's my favorite skin. I had a poster commissioned, and they asked me what skin I wanted, and I was like, I need the witch skin. I love that skin. I think the Uprising skin was really great too. It was like a little retro. And I really loved the Chinese New Year. But I loved everything they did for that event. So, yeah, but I think my favorite is the witch skin so far.
And feel free to correct me if I got this wrong, but I think for a lot of voice-over auditions, you get like a picture and a brief description. How do you go about getting a character off so little information?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a lot of intuitive work and kind of just, you know, you read something and then you just let it kind of resonate and see what happens, you know. I think that a lot of times for these kinds of auditions, as you say, you don't get a lot of information, and you don't most of the time even know what the project is you're auditioning for with these, you know, high-profile games especially. So you do, yeah, you just kind of go with what your gut is telling you to kind of put in. And then, you know, I was saying yesterday at the voiceover panel that it's so not personal when you don't get a job, and in a way it's not personal when you do get a job. It's just that you're right for it, you know, because somebody else has created this character and has created a world, and they have a vision for what they want this character to be. And sometimes somebody comes in and surprises them and they go, oh, we hadn't thought of that. Actually, that's better. But even in that case, it's not really personal, because it's just about what you are bringing to the table, like organically, you know, and it is either right or it's not right. So I've kind of learned that knowing that comes with a lot of experience too, you know, learning to kind of go, this is what I am and this is what I bring to the table, and it's either right for it or not. And then, you know, in the case of Overwatch, obviously we're all lucky that we were right for these characters. And then when you have the character for a while, you start to shape it, and then you start to go, okay, now I can put little nuances that come from me and that I kind of work out intellectually in my head. But before then, I think a lot of it is gut. Yeah.
So you said you started out as a more theater type actor, correct? Before you went into voice acting?
Yeah, that's right.
When you went into voice acting, were there any unexpected challenges that you faced that differed from your more traditional acting experience? Or was it a lot more similar than you would, or a layperson would expect?
No, that's a good question. I think that, yeah, voice acting is definitely its own thing. And I did, for many years, I did like language programs and, you know, like small little jobs like that, and I learned how to use my voice in a booth without having my body or my face, you know, to go with it, to kind of express emotion. And because it's just the voice, it's actually really amazing. You can do so much, but it's very, very subtle and very nuanced. So yeah, there was a lot that I had to learn. Then there's like little tricks, you know, about when you're saying a P, like you look down because otherwise it pops into the mic. So there's like little techniques that you learn as well, you know, along the way. But it's different than on camera, and it's different than theater. Yeah, it's definitely its own thing. But you learn by doing it. You know, you can't really learn it on a theoretical level. You just have to do it, and you learn.
Yes, you mentioned earlier that you grew up in an acting family, but I was curious, outside of your family, who has had the biggest impact on your career?
Well, I would say that my biggest inspiration has been Monty Python, definitely. I kind of learned English with Monty Python because I couldn't speak English when we moved to the States, and my parents are very like intellectual people, so when we were living in Germany, we weren't really allowed to watch TV a lot. And when we moved to the States, my dad was like, watch TV as much as you can to learn English. And I was like, oh my God, America's the best country on earth. I get to watch TV. I love this. But what ended up happening is that we would watch Fawlty Towers. Somebody had given us like a DVD of John Cleese, Monty Python's Fawlty Towers. And my sister and I would just watch it over and over and over again. And I think that brand of really smart humor that at the same time is really silly just kind of like really resonated with me and really inspired me. And then Whoopi Goldberg is a big inspiration for me. She's, you know, a woman that started out writing her own material and doing character work and kind of went against the odds, you know, as a black woman in like the late 70s performing her own material in New York City, you know. So Lily Tomlin is another one. So there's a lot of female comedians and performers that have inspired me. Lucille Ball is another one of my big inspirations. So yeah, those ladies.
You go first.
Okay, hero or villain characters?
Oh, wow. I can't, both. I mean, excuse me, Mercy is obviously a hero, and I'm really proud to be the voice of Mercy because she doesn't have a weapon and she heals people, and I think that's a really awesome message to send to like people and kids, and the fact that you can play a character like that in a shooter game is just awesome, and that she's popular and that people are into her. But villains are fun because you can kind of like, you know, go get more out there with it. So yeah, I like playing villains. I have dark hair. Surprisingly, dark-haired actresses get cast as like villain or mean girls a lot more than blonde actors. So I've done my fair share of villain characters. Yeah.
I've got one. Now, this might be a little bit personal, And honestly, it's a bit of a polarizing subject, so
Okay, well,
feel
my
free to
last
step
name
away
is
if you want.
Pohl, so
Oh,
that might
perfect.
be okay to
Okay.
be polarizing.
So, does pineapple belong on pizza, in your opinion?
Oh, I totally don't think so. No
Thank
pineapple
you.
on pizza. Yeah, no.
You know, I knew you were a smart person when you walked in the door.
But you know that in Germany, people are obsessed with it. They call it Hawaii pizza. Hawaii pizza. And I've always thought it was gross. Sorry, pineapple pizza fans. I do love pineapple, not on pizza. I also think seafood does not belong on pizza either. Other than that, I love pizza. Pizza bagels, awesome.
How are you enjoying the con so far?
It's great. Yeah, it's been really great. I mean, obviously, it's really amazing to meet all the fans, you know? It's just really cool. People who are so into the game, and then there's a lot of people that say that the game has helped them through tough times or like through depression or, you know, so that's really amazing. It's just amazing to see all this. Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
You could.
What's the biggest challenge for you personally as an actor?
Sorry, I'm smiling because there's so many challenges for actors. The biggest challenge is being able to focus on the work that I want to do while making rent, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, in like very simple terms. So it's just, yeah, it's a challenge to do what you want to do and make a living or sustain the living that you've been making, because it's such a, you know, roller coaster ride. So you really have to have a tough skin and be in it for the bumpy ride, because, you know, even if you're successful and it's going well, that doesn't mean anything. You know, it can always that can always go away. So you have to plan ahead and kind of, yeah. So that's the biggest challenge, just navigating that field of roller coaster finances and emotions, I think.
You have 1 minute left if you want to do just one
Cool.
before your phone call.
Yeah,
I got one.
yeah,
I actually just brain farted. I'm so sorry.
That's
I forgot where I
okay.
was going.
no problem.
Do any of you have a question while I try to remember how to speak?
So got
Do you
1
enjoy
minute.
acting more than voice acting, or does it you want certain one more than the other?
No, I can't really say that. They're so different, and I really love both, or all of the. I love theater work, I love film work, and I love voice acting work, especially when I get to do fun stuff like Overwatch. So yeah.
Okay, I remember, by the way. Okay, so especially with the success of Overwatch, you've probably done so many interviews like this one, right? And you've been asked probably a lot of similar questions across a lot of them. Are there any questions that you have been dying to answer that nobody's asked you yet about something you can personally talk about, or something that is just really interesting to you, maybe not even related to voice acting, or anything in general? Like if you really like the color blue. Anything.
Yeah. No, my favorite color is red. No, I don't think so. I write my own shows, so I share a lot of the things that I want to tell people on stage regularly. So I don't have anything that I haven't been able to say out loud at the moment. But yeah. But thanks. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Do you usually try to mimic other voice actors to like try to be their character as a study, try to perfect your craft?
I haven't done that, but when we meet each other, we do each other's voice lines. I'm sure you've seen
Right.
those little videos, and that's always fun. Yeah, I mean, it's just for fun, but not to not for any technical reasons. But yeah, for fun, definitely. I met Fred yesterday, and obviously his voice is like this, you know, or Reinhardt. I love doing that. All for fun. Cool. Is that, yeah? Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Nice
you
to
for
meet
being
everybody.
here.
Thanks a lot.